it's Lee from Topstitch, and today we're going to be making a face mask. We're going to be sewing the Craft Passion face mask. There are a variety of face mask patterns out there. This one is actually my preference just because it fits nicely over your nose and it clears your eyes. And it comes in a variety of sizes from children to men's sizes. And we have a link to the pattern in the description, which you can download and print, and then you can print whichever size you would like to make. Today I'm going to be making the men's face mask. I like this size for both men and women. I think it's just most comfortable, so that's what we're going to be making. I do the elastic a little bit differently. Instead of behind your ears, I do it above your head, and that way it doesn't sort of pull on your ears, and it gives you flexibility to wear it over your neck. So the tools that you'll need are pretty simple. You really just need pins, paper scissors, fabric scissors, some elastic that's about 1.5 yards for each mask that you make, 1 fat quarter of fabric, which is 18 by 22. You'll need fabric for your inner and your outer. And one thing to keep in mind before you get started is you're going to want to wash your fabrics and also wash your hands. So once you have your pattern downloaded, you can cut it out, and I've already cut mine out and I've already cut my pieces, but you'll just take your pattern and cut around your pieces. You're going to want to cut 2 outer pieces and 2 inner pieces. You could use the same fabric for your inner and your outer, but I like to contrast the two. So you're going to want to choose 100% cotton fabric for both your lining and your outer fabric. Topstitch is a great place to buy your fabric, so you can check out what we have online. And it's also a really fun way to customize your look because everybody wants a stylish mask. So once you have your pieces cut, we can get sewing. The first thing you're going to want to do is take your front pieces and pin them right sides together. And we're going to start sewing along the curved edge with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So I'm just going to put a few pins in around the edge here. This is also a great pattern for getting experience sewing curves, because sewing curves can be a bit tricky. So we're just going to start at the point of the top of the pattern and put your presser foot down, and then we're going to just get to sewing. So we just want to lock in our first few stitches as we get sewing. And we're sewing with a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way down to the end. And we'll just lock in our stitches down at the end. And bring your needle up, take your thread out, and then trim your threads. So we're just going to put a few pins into our lining pieces and do the exact same thing again. So we'll start at the point at a 1/4 inch seam, begin by sewing and lock in our stitches. And if you get a little wumpy, it's okay. I've gone a little wumpy here. You can use your foot as your guide. Because this project is so simple, I've been sewing them with my daughters, and they're really enjoying that and making them for their friends and their teachers. So this is a really super fun thing to do with kids too. So now both our outer piece and our lining pieces are sewn, and we're going to sew them together now. So we're going to open up our outer, we're going to open up our inner. If you'd like to press it, you can give it a little press with your iron. I'm just kind of finger pressing it as I go, and then I'm going to pin them right sides together at the point, starting here. And then I'm going to pin from the point down the curved edges on both sides. You're just going to pin and sew all the way around the top. So a lot of people are wanting custom logos, and there are people who do embroidery or various methods of customizing, but another fun thing for kids or just anyone is you can get blank fabric and you can paint it or draw on it, you can embroider it and customize it any way that you want. So now that we've sewn across the top, we're going to do the same thing but on the bottom. So we're just going to sew from end to end, again with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. You can put a few pins in if you'd like as you go along. A lot of people who are making face masks right now are finding that there's an elastic shortage. I don't know how long that will last. People are finding it's hard to find 1/4 inch elastic, which is what most patterns call for. I am actually using lingerie elastic because I think it's really soft and comfortable around your head. So just use whatever you can find that works best for you. Now that we have our pieces sewn together, right sides together, we're going to turn it out through one of the ends. It doesn't matter which end, just turn it out through one of the ends. And then as I turn it out, I'm just sort of finger pressing as I go along. You can get out your iron and press it properly if you'd like, but I just finger press it. So once you have your mask turned right side out, you're going to want to fold in one end 1/4 of an inch, and then fold again about 1/2 an inch. So you're tucking in the raw edges. And this is going to be where the elastic threads. So sometimes it's a little bit tricky to get right at that knobbly bit at the top, but yay, we got through it. So we're just going to sew down to the end, backing up at the beginning and the end. And then on the opposite side, we're just going to do the same thing one more time. Oop, I've got a lot of messy threads, don't I? So we're going to turn it under 1/4 of an inch and turn under again 1/2 an inch. And if you're a very neat person, you can press. I'm not very neat today, so I'm not pressing. So now our face mask is almost complete, and we're just going to trim our threads. And now that we have our face mask sewn together and we have the channels sewn, we can now thread our elastic through. So I'm just going to take a safety pin and affix it to one end of your elastic so that you can thread your elastic through the channels. So some face masks, they just have a little loop of elastic to go around your ears. But like I mentioned earlier, I really like this one because it's comfortable around your head, and then you can also sort of dangle it around your neck like a necklace when you're not wearing it, so you don't lose it as easily. Okay, you basically have a complete face mask. We're just going to take our safety pin off. I like to knot the ends of my elastic so that when you wash it, you don't lose your elastic in the wash. It won't come unthreaded. So there you go, face mask. It's nice and cozy over your ears, and you can strap it to the back and tie it to your desired length and comfort. And there you are. So that's how to make a craft passion face mask. This is a great project to do with family and friends and get your kids involved. It's easy and fun. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comments down below. Remember to like and subscribe. You can also join our social community, Topstitch Makers, for unique and dynamic engagement with your sewing community for tips and inspiration. See you next time.